Greetings, fellow scholars. I'm here to walk you through getting started on your week 3 assignment, which is your Connect Math homework. The part that you might feel a little confusion about is using your Excel spreadsheet as a calculator. So let's go ahead and have a look through that. I'm going to share my screen with you. Here, first of all, starting off on Blackboard, you guys, if you're a National Park College, you're in the quantitative literacy course, and you'll access your weekly assignments through the weekly assignments tab on the left of the screen. If you're Pulaski Tech, taking mathematical reasoning, this is the exact same course, just has 2 different names, and I teach at 2 different schools. So that's why I call it quantitative literacy mathematical reasoning, so I don't have to do double videos and double documents. There was a couple folks with some confusion about that big long name. So here, Pulaski Tech, you click on course content. And once you guys get into your Blackboard, you'll both see that in your week 3 assignment, once you get to this point, it should look pretty much the same. Your week 3 assignment, click in there and it will give you instructions to go to your Connect Math. So in your week 3, a couple exciting things are going to happen here. First of all, you're going to use your, well, let's see, what does it list first? This is, first of all, you get to start joining some teams this week. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this link. You guys are responsible for networking. There are 100 networking points available in each module. Each module is worth 1,100 points, and 100 of those is networking points. That means that it's your responsibility to join a team of no more than 4 people, and it's 25 points per person. So you can work all by yourself and just opt out of those 100 points, or you can choose to just work with your bestie and get 50 out of those 100 points. So either way, if you want to do a team of 4, it's your responsibility to assemble that team. So you guys would click on this Google Doc here, and this is all the same for both schools. And I'm just going to right-click and open in a new tab. That's something new I learned from a scholar this semester. And once I get this networking form opened, you will see that there are columns and rows for you to put in your names and your information. There's a set of instructions there. These are outside of the norm. You've probably never used a networking form before, neither have I. It's something new. Well, it's not new, it's new to me, but it's been used in math classes across the state. It's something I'm just learning about. So we can see here we've already had a couple folks sign up into the networking form. This means that Shannon Allen, Joshua Van, and Deanna Rowe, it looks like Rowe and Metlock have already joined up in one group. You can see that they're in a cell together here. Shannon Allen is by herself. She's included her link to her intro video, so you can see if you want to join a group with her. You guys, this is all through Zoom, so you are not limited to joining a group with someone in your class or even your school. You can join groups across classes, which I've always done that in my courses. Groups could present, you know, if they weren't in the same class. I've just never done it across schools. So I'm looking forward to seeing some folks across the schools join teams together. Shannon Allen turned her Excel report in first. If it was me, I would want like the first 4 people to turn in the hardest assignment and have a real rock star team. So you guys build these teams however you want to. It's your responsibility to put your name in here and get teams. I would like it if you guys could highlight your names in bold, so that way amongst all the other information here, we can see who you are. So from now on, when you guys put your names, go ahead and keep all of your information and then put bold. If you do something and you accidentally delete someone's information in here, text me right away, because I can actually go in and look at a previous version. You might be able to do that too. I've given you full editing capabilities. So, you know, see what you guys can do with that. I'm excited to see this work. All right, and just look at these instructions. Text me with questions. When you guys message me on Blackboard, it might take me 2 whole days to get back to you. But when you text message me, usually within a minute, unless I'm really into a project, it might take me 10 minutes or even a half hour sometimes, but much quicker if you text me and easier for me and you. All right, so that's the networking form. You're not doing anything with your groups right now. You don't even need to establish a whole group right now. But go into the networking form, get your name put in there. There are all kinds of categories. If you're a business major, and like look here, it looks like Shannon Allen is a business major. Can you guys see that? Business is my row. And then it says, I like to get things done and am happy to team up with anyone committed to completing the assignment. All right, so Shannon Allen is a business major who is high speed. So she's put her name there. Now, if you're a person who likes to wait till the last minute and do something on, you don't say you work full time, 40 hours a week, you can't do your work until the weekends, then you might put that, there might be something up here about being a last minute person. And if there's not, put it over, all my work gets done on Saturday and Sunday, so you can find other people in that same situation. This is networking. This is a hot commodity in the employment world today. Any position that you take in the professional world, networking is a huge benefit to an employer. All right, so that's our networking form. I'm going to go back to, and there are lots of instructions on there. You guys can read all the details for further instructions. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is open our Excel from our last assignment, from our week 2 assignment. And I know some of you are still working on that, and that's perfectly okay. If you're still working on it, then you just turn it in late. I accept late assignments. That's why week 1 is very short and week 3 is short. So you have that time to start week 2 early or to turn it in late. You know, you can get week 3 done usually in about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And week 1 is the same. So week 2 takes a little longer. And then that way, even if you turn it in way late, you can still, even week, 4 is short. Everything's pretty short except for week 2 is that long one. And that's at the beginning of the module to give you extra time to work on it. All right, so here I am with my assignment from last week. I am going to, all the way at the very bottom, you see where it says sheet 1, I'm going to click this plus right here. And now I've just added a new sheet. And a lot of you know how to do that. Mine says sheet 3 because I guess I made a sheet 2 and then I deleted it to just kind of practice before I made this video. So because I deleted it, I guess it's saying sheet 3. But look, I can rename it. And, I think you're supposed to name this homework. I don't know if I put that on there. Sheet 1 was homework. I'm sorry, sheet 1, I'm going to rename this to say my Excel report. I did actually have these instructions on for the first week, but I thought it might confuse folks, so I'll just give them to you now. So let's go ahead and rename that one because now we're going to have different sheets. You have your homework, and then next time you're going to have a financial report. So you're going to have a few different tabs here. All right, so my homework now, I'm going to go to my Connect Math. So let's see if I have that open somewhere here. In my Connect Math, your guys' looks a little different than mine because, of course, mine is from the instructor view. So I'm going to go to my assignment here. And I've actually already opened this in another tab. So once you guys get to this part, you start assignment. And I'm just not going to because I have already opened this just because it took so long to load. Here it is. All right, now when you guys get here to your assignments, actually I did just make a different decision. I'm going to go ahead and click Start Assignment. When you guys get here, you're going to click on number 1, and yours might ask you to start your Adobe. You might have to allow Adobe, and if you've never logged into Connect Math, you might need to even upload Adobe Flash 1 Player. It's super simple. The instructions just kind of roll you along with it. Now, look all the way down at the bottom left-hand corner. And I'm making my screen bigger by pressing Control+. It says print the whole assignment. You click that, print whole assignment, and then go do something because it takes about, I think I'm gonna say it took a whole 5 minutes about to load. So you just click right down at the bottom left, print whole assignment, and then you will get what you're about to see here. Because I've already gone through this and it did take a long time. All right, so now I get this little window, and this actually gives me all of the homework problems all in one. It won't let me make this window any bigger. I know that's frustrating. I guess if I did this whole thing, but it doesn't change the length, just the width. So when you guys are working on these are mostly, there are 100 problems. They're not problems, you know, they're just basically multiple choice. I wish it was a better viewing, but it's not. But you can look through them. And these are mostly all multiple choice until you get like around to number 78, I think it was. And then it starts actually requiring calculations. There are some very light calculations before that. I'm going to move all the way through where I remember. And there are, starting actually like number 70 something, there are some things asking for the mean, median, and mode, and Q1, Q3, and all that good stuff. The mid-range. So here it wants you to find number 79 is asking for the mean, median, mid-range. And if you look back at your Excel report that you did this week, that's due tonight at midnight, then you remember that you did these. So you can actually just go back to your Excel report here to number 4 and actually literally cut and paste this information into your next worksheet and calculate your mean, median, and your range and your mid-range. You can always look at your examples. Since I'm talking about that, I'll come back here and show you. On your actual homework questions, you can go to show an example, and it gives you instructions how to do these things. And through that, you'll learn that your mid-range is just your Q1, your Q3 minus your Q1. So when you guys are doing these problems on your homework Excel sheet, your sheet 2 here, then you just do any calculations that you have to do. You should be able to pull out at least 5 calculations for this, and it's worth 50 points, this Excel sheet. And all you're doing is using Excel as a calculator. Your homework is probably going to show you how to do it on either Excel or the TI calculator. Pulaski Tech, you guys aren't using Connect Math, you're using My Math Labs. And it's still just try to pull out maybe 5 questions that you can use a calculator for and do that on Excel. And they don't have to be fancy like they were on the Excel report. I was going to do this grade point average with you guys. Pulaski Tech, your homework questions may be a little different, but you can still get the idea of what kind of homework problems I'm looking for. So let's just look at grade point average, because this is a cool thing to know how to do either way. So here I have I'm actually going to pause the video and type all this in, so hold on just a second. Okay, I just typed these in, and I realized I did that on number 3 on the Excel report and forgot to tell you guys that I was typing it in, so I sent that picture. Hopefully that helped. All right, so here I have, I'm just typing this chart over from this homework page, and I have that A's, finding a grade point average, A's are worth 4 points, B's are 3.5, and then once I have that, I'm just going to select those 2 cells, double click my bottom right corner, and it takes it all the way down. I just have to change down here on F. The F is 0, so I can just delete that 0.5. Cool, now I have, this is my chart. Now let's look at the actual question for this one. This one has the scholar's grades here. So this particular scholar had a 5-credit course, so that would be like Calculus 3 is sometimes 5 credits usually. So that was a 5-credit course. They got 5 credit points at a B+. Then they had a D, so 1 credit point. That was probably like PE or, I don't know, Blackboard training. And then world history for 6, so that was probably a 2-part class. World history, they got a C+. I'm going to say that was probably world history before 1860 and after 1860. I'm just taking a guess why it would be 6 credit hours. And then what else? Music appreciation was worth 4 credit hours, probably because it had a lab, and that was a D+. All right, did I get them all at 5, 1, 4, 6? 5 at a B+, 6 at a C+, 4 at a D+, and 1 at a D. Hopefully you guys can see the correlation over here. All right, now what I'm going to do is add these together and find out how many credit hours did they take all together. Let's just go ahead and write total down here. And again, this is just calculator scratch work. I'm going a little bit far here because I'm just showing you guys how to do it. All you would have to do is put number 81 and then show some calculations. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant unless you like it. Some people like to go all out with charts and everything. I sometimes usually can hardly help myself with borders. As a matter of fact, I just put a borders there right now. All right, and then over here in this column, I'm going to multiply these together. So whatever's in the delta column, that's 0 in this case, that column times this 4. And then I'm going to apply that all the way down. And you know, we did this in Module 2, so I don't need to show you how to do that. Now I have all of the credits that they've earned. They earned 5 credits at 3.5 and on and on. See, and then it has 0 here where they earned 0 credits. And then I'm going to sum that up by using the sum key over here. All right, so now they've earned 39.5 hours divided by the total number of hours that they have. So right here in this cell, I can do 39.5 divided by 16. All right, so it looks like their GPA here is going to be 2.47. And if you want to, you can click that cell and change the decimal values at the top where we increase or decrease decimals. Because the problem says over here to round to the nearest hundredths. So I can actually do that right in Excel. And there I have my answer. And that's what I would type into my homework. So you're actually going to use Excel as a calculator. Any calculation that you would pull out your phone or a calculator or use, you're going to just use Excel for your calculator, and that's worth 50 points. And folks, remember, you don't have to earn every point in this class. People don't think twice about sitting down for an algebra exam and leaving 5 questions blank. So if you can't do everything perfect, do the best you can, and we will, get you as many points as we can out of the work that you've done. The only other thing I think I wanted to talk about, we've done so much with mean, median, and range, Q1, Q3, don't forget Q2 is just your mean. I'm not even going to go over that. That was highly covered in your Excel report. The only other one I saw in here, well, we have a monthly budget. We could look at that quickly. I think both classes have budget questions. I try to keep them as much the same as possible, but I'm required to use 2 different textbooks. So bear with me, folks, on these videos, trying to get all the information out to both different textbook users. But the homework problems are pretty much the same. And Pulaski Tech, I'm giving this video to National Park because you guys actually have less calculation problems than they do in this module, this part of the assignment. All right, so here we are looking at our fixed expenses. And I would just build this chart right here. I'm going to just pause the video and build it for you guys real quick. All right, so all I've done is entered what was in that chart over there. Now, I added something right here. It says leftover. And what is leftover? Well, leftover is the total for this particular problem on the homework was, I'm going to use my equal sign because I'm going to do some math, and I'm going to type that in. In this case, it was 3,050.78. And then I'm going to subtract. You guys ready for this? Actually, I'm going to make this bigger so you guys can see good. I wish I would have done that more in your Excel video. I'll work on that for future videos. So my leftover is the total amount that Edwin makes. I guess I should have mentioned this as a budgeting problem. I'm putting in his rent, car, phone. These are all of his expenses, and his income is $3,050.78. Now, from that amount, I'm going to subtract the sum. So that's minus SUM, open parenthesis. Now, you can see I get a formula down here for the sum. What are the numbers I want to know? The sum of all of these. Close my parentheses and hit enter. And now this is how much Edwin has left over. So now I can just choose all of this if I want to. What's the question over here is Edwin will have blank left over every month. So I'm actually done with the problem. I got the answer. It's right here. That's how much he has left over. I don't know why, but in my head I have to put a pie chart. Wow, look at that. Edwin's leftover expenses is most of his, see that? That's the leftover amount. So that's most of what he earns. So you can throw that chart in there for fun if you want to. All right, and then the only other thing you guys had, and I'm sure, I think you both textbooks had finances, pie charts, interest rates. That's what it is. So the next thing we're going to do is some interest rates. So you guys will learn from doing these homework problems and looking at your examples that you have your interest. You have a formula that interest equals the principal times, well, just times the rate times the time. And that's our interest formula. So in this case, we're looking at Charlene invested. I know you guys can't hardly see that, but it doesn't really get much bigger. Charlene invested $2,900 at 6% simple interest for 5 years. Well, that's just, and it says how much interest will she earn in 5 years? Well, the principal was $2,900, and this is all on the example for the problem. You were literally just using Excel for a calculator. The big thing you have to remember here is that we put in 0.06. Unless, of course, you went up and changed it to percent, but don't try to do that. Just 6% is 0.06, and then times 5. All right, and we get 870, so that would be our answer. And the total value of the account after 5 years, well, that would be the interest plus what she invested. So in that case, it would be the interest plus her investment of $2,900. And then that's the total amount that the account is good for after 5 years. All right, so you guys try to find at least 5 questions that you can use as a calculator in your Excel, use Excel as a calculator to turn in with your assignment. Now, when you're done, this is still just going to be named the same file. You don't have to rename it and resave it as anything else. Just keep this file the same as it was. It's just now it has 2 sheets. And then at the very end of the assignment, when you're finished, you will go to, I have all these tabs open because I'm, working on my own homework too. All right, so once you get completely done with all of that, you click on My Labs Plus. This is not due today. Next Sunday, you click on My Labs Plus, and then you go to the very bottom of this, and you are simply going to attach your, your file here, your Excel file. And then as far as your Connect Math or your My Math Labs grade, I'll get that off the other website. So the only thing you have to do is attach your Excel. The same Excel that you used for this week's assignment It'll just have that extra page. All right, guys, I think that I've covered everything that I wanted to say, I hope. Let me know if you have questions. Please text me. I'm here to answer your questions. So I'll be looking forward to hearing from you. And until then, keep being amazing. You rock.